Hello, and welcome to this early preview of some new functionality that we're introducing to the AOI Hub reporting template for the Cayman Islands CRS compliance form. The CRS compliance form is something that FIs need to complete by the 15th of September following the reporting year. They're required to provide aggregate information about their accounts, including the number and value of non-reportable accounts specified by particular types. There is also a number of CRS compliance questions around the AML self-certification that the FI needs to answer. All of this can either be manually entered on the portal or uploaded in a single CSV file. In the June 2022 version of the AOI Hub reporting template, we're going to be introducing the ability to create that bulk upload file automatically. And in this session, I'm going to be showing you how we're going to be doing that in the template. So let's take a look. I'm in the AOI Hub reporting template here, and the first thing to note is that you need to switch on the CRS compliance form in the options screen. You go to the CRS tab, and there is a checkbox here for creating the CRS compliance form. The reason for that is because once we enable this, it's going to introduce a number of extra checks on the FI data. And if you weren't creating the CRS compliance form, you might not want to see all those extra validation checks. When you're doing the CRS compliance form, you also need to select the currency that you're using to report that. And if it's anything other than US dollars, then you'll also need to enter an exchange rate to be used. Let's have a look at some reporting FI details. If I click on one of these FIs, when I've switched on the CRS compliance form, I get a new tab for CRS compliance. And under this, there are 4 sections that relate to the 4 sections on the CRS compliance form. Section 1, information about the FI. You say if the FI is licensed or not with CIMA. And all of these screens are dynamic and smart. They will show you the fields that you need to complete. So if, for example, I'd said, yes, it is registered with CIMA, then it would require me to enter the CIMA number. If not, then I need to enter the nature of the FI business, one of the codes, and then it shows me there what that is. Moving on to section 2, this is the section about the FI's financial accounts. And the values on here are automatically calculated based on the account details that you've got within the template. You can click here to edit these manually, but when you do that, you'll lose the automatic refresh of information data from the account details. But that is there as an option if you choose to enter the details if you already know the figures that you want to use. Moving on to section 3, you can see here I've got warnings telling me that I need to complete this. This is where you complete details about whether the FI's got audited financial statements, who completes the AML, is the FI or other. If you completed other, you would have to fill in details of who does that. Confirm the AML are performed in accordance with Cayman Islands law. Finally, section 4, and this has already been completed for this FI I've got here. Who reviews the accounts? Is it FI or other? And then confirming these questions here about policies, procedures, and self-certifications. Once you've got all of the FI questions and details answered, let's have a look at the accounts details. We've added a new section on the accounts data worksheet, reporting options, to handle the calculation of the accounts that are excluded from reporting for various reasons. So we've got a new column on here, exclude from reporting, that you can answer yes to, where the account holder is not reportable either because it's a financial institution or for some other reason. And then you need to select the reason for exclusions, either FI or other. You don't need to use that if the account is not reportable because it's in a non-reportable jurisdiction, because we'll work that out automatically. You only need to use this if the account's not reportable because it's not a reportable entity or individual type. Also, if your account is in a currency other than US dollars, you need to enter the exchange rate so that we can calculate the value of all of those accounts. So having completed our FI details and made sure that our accounts data is up to date, we can now click on the Create Reports button to have a look at how the CRS compliance form is created. This has given me the Create Reports screen, and this is familiar to those of you that are already using AOI Hub reporting template. It shows me what FATCA and CRS reports that I've got, and from here you can create FATCA and CRS returns. What we've now added on here is a third option for creating the CRS compliance form. So if you wanted to, you could create everything at once, FATCA return, CRS and the CRS compliance form, but in this case I'm just going to create the compliance form on its own. That's now completed. On the report summary, you can see here that the submission type is the CRS compliance form. If I click on the spyglass, I've got two options I can look at. The CSV bulk upload file is the actual file that you need to upload to the portal. If I click on there to have a look at this, this contains all of the details in the right format for uploading. See here, if we look across, it's got all the details of my 3 FIs completely filled in as it's required for the portal. We also provide, to assist you with reviewing this, is a PDF management report to explain the information that's going into that. The PDF management report first of all starts off with a summary showing you the financial institutions that are going into that report, the value of accounts, and the non-reportable accounts by type, either because it's an FI, another non-reportable person, US reportable, or non-reportable because they're in other jurisdictions. Then for each financial institution, we provide a single page summary showing you how each of the questions in the compliance form have been answered. And for each financial institution, we then follow that up with the workings behind that. So for example here, for the Diamond Investment Fund, the working behind my total financial accounts is displayed here with all the translations to US dollars, etc. And then for each category of non-reportable accounts, it's also showing you the workings behind that. So you can see exactly which accounts have been identified in that report. Of course, the report itself is only aggregate information. This is purely for your own internal workings, so you can see how that was calculated. And this carries on through. So here I've got my second financial institution, and that will be followed by all the workings for that. We hope that you found that preview useful. Look out for the new version of the template, which will be out in June. If you have any questions, please get in touch with us and look out for updates on our YouTube, LinkedIn and Twitter.